to be daring, baby, dance the night away. I let my head down if I want. Don't you just get tired chasing fame and being pretty all the time? Doesn't sound like fun.
All right, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Diana. My brand is called The Everyday Diosa, but if you follow me on my personal account, then I just go by I am Diana La Diosa. I wanted to create a different kind of video on this channel. I have been doing almost exclusively weekly vlogs, and my intention for that was to show everyday life, to show the behind the scenes, the things that most people don't see on your healing journey. I just put some dry shampoo in my hair and I'm letting that kind of marinate until I'm done doing my makeup. So today I thought I would do a get ready with me / heart-to-heart conversation about I guess basically like where I'm at, where this channel is going, and what you will expect from me in this space. So let's get started. All right. So I already did my skincare this morning, had my coffee, feeling pretty good. It's supposed to be like an incredibly hot day. So I'm starting out with the Vive Skin Nova Instant Radiant Primer. I just started using this and well, honestly, I don't know that much about primers, so I'll just say that then. But I do like it. So I've been adding that underneath whenever I do wear makeup. I used to be somebody that wore makeup all day, every day. And then if I was in a relationship, then I would wear makeup at night because you cannot possibly let them see you with your natural face. And my husband actually prefers a bare face. So I'm 50-50 now. That's kind of where like being more active in my skincare has come into play. So if you are new to the channel, I am a mom of 3. I am expecting, you can see, my 4th child. I am sitting right now in my bathroom because my belly is so big now that I literally have to stand on my tippy toes to get my belly to like prop over the sink. And it's kind of ridiculous, so I just didn't want to do that anymore. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna let myself sit down so that I can enjoy this process other than feeling like I have to be rushed by it. So I am a mom. That is my first and foremost. Next, I'm using the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Perfect Glow Flawless Foundation. Love you. I am doing makeup today. I like this foundation a lot because I feel like, one, it was such a good match on my skin, which I was very surprised with because I ordered this online through Nordstrom. But I also just like the way it sits. What's up, girl? You good? That's my oldest. Anyways, where are we going with this? All right. I have ADHD, so there is that. So if you start to get to know me personally, or you hang out around this channel a lot, you'll probably notice that I will lose my train of thought. And that just is what it is. So basically where I was going with this is that my brand Everyday Diosa is trying to figure out really how to like mesh the two, both with like the lifestyle vlog, my personal life, and my brand. And I had a recent conversation in which it kind of came up that like the influencer is dying, like that basically, like if you're not already cemented into YouTube, you don't already have like a huge following, the chances of you succeeding in this field are very slim. And the thing is that a couple years ago, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go that route. I'm gonna try and do my best. And it didn't really stick for me because I am not really somebody who can like only talk to you about makeup or clothes or any of that. Like for me, I think I've grown out of, as a result, I guess, out of like my spiritual journey, that I just have grown out of that need for like material things to define me. Don't get me wrong, I will 1000% say that I'm like a bougie homesteader because I do like designer. I like nice things. I like to shop. Like shopping for me, I enjoy it. I like cute things. I like to decorate, and you will see a lot of that on this channel, but that is not like that to me. Like those are things, and those are not things that I want to have as like connection points with others. I thrive when I'm basically doing the things that I do for my brand, like having like really heart-to-heart connections, coaching others through their journey, and vice versa. It's not so much about even me being like their coach or their guide. Every single session that I have ever had with anyone, whether it's tarot, Reiki, or soul coaching, I learn just as much as they are. And it's just always, it's been such a funny part for me where it's like, am I coaching them or am I just talking to myself? And we could go down a whole other rabbit hole of that conversation another time, because I really believe that every person that you meet is really just a reflection of a part of yourself. And so with that in mind, I do my best to guide everybody from a very centered and grounded space of what is best for them at this time in their journey, in that same like compassionate manner that I would need. And so this is kind of where I feel like the brand really intermingles with the behind the scenes in terms of like motherhood, right? Motherhood has really, really been that turning point for me in my life, that really put me into this gear of like, hey, you've got to get your shit together. Like we have a human that we're responsible for. Like we have a responsibility to this child to show up as our best self. And it didn't really click to me until I would say like 6 or 7 years after having my firstborn, that I realized like, oh, I have to start taking care of myself though. Like I don't know how to model that for her unless I'm doing it for myself. And so naturally, I think that's where the brand was born out of, was that I was mothering a child, and then I was learning to mother myself, and then I identified that that was a gift that I could also share with other people who are learning to parent themselves, not just mother, but like also father, depending on the situation. And it's developed into like multiple things because sorry y'all, I get out of breath. We're 23 weeks pregnant now. So this is kind of just, I hope that you can manage with the scatteredness as well as the out of breath. But what I was saying was that it developed into a lot more than just mothering, than just guiding. We need friends, we need community, people that we can trust to separate their ego when they're giving, when they're showing up for us, when they're giving advice. And one of the hardest lessons I think in that has been to learn that sometimes that means that your circle's gonna be teeny, and you might expect it to be bigger, but just because somebody is on their spiritual journey does not mean that they are not still learning lessons. And that's been another thing too, is that I definitely had the expectation at the beginning that everything was going to be like a completely 180 spin on where my life was at. And that's the thing, is that like nothing and yet everything changed. So going back to what we were talking about with influencing, I don't want to be seen, like, I don't have the desire to be a like fashion or beauty influencer. I do enjoy those things, so you will see it, like just today, from time to time. And that is, I think, excuse me, a natural part of being, where is that? It's right here. Incorporating those different parts of yourself, right? Like in my young, like early 20s, I was really into makeup and taking care of myself in that way. And so I still do my best to make an effort to let that part of my, ooh, I went a little heavy there. Like, I want to let that part of myself thrive, because that's how I express my creativity, my art, if you will. And I think really going through your journey, you start to say like, okay, I don't have to do this all the time. I'm doing it because it's expected of me, because these are the beauty standards, or because I feel shame about my natural skin, or I don't feel beautiful enough. And as you start to become more comfortable in yourself, you ease up on those kind of things. Does that make sense? When it comes to this channel, when it comes to the brand, or even how I show up on social, do I want to be an influence? Absolutely. Like, I have no shame in saying that now, whereas like a year or two ago, it was like I felt like guilt and shame for wanting the followers, for wanting to put myself out there in the way that I did, because I was surrounding myself with people that also wanted to be an influence but couldn't do it for themselves. And so you become somebody who's like really cynical and just in general kind of putting people down. Like I said, it's not my mission here to be a fashion or beauty influencer, but I follow several and I love their content. I like to watch how they show their lives. I think it's super cool to be that young and to be traveling and doing all these cool things. But that is not my life. And so I think if there was a goal here, as far as, and we were to label it as influencing, I would want to be a positive influence for other like millennial women who want, like, who have a similar lifestyle of wanting to garden, of being self-sustainable, of being on a health journey, of removing toxins and not putting things into our body that doesn't need to be there, of wanting to have just like a quiet life after so much turmoil, in those experiences of trauma and whatnot. Like, we really need that piece to just say, you know what, I'm satisfied with being a mom. I'm satisfied with finding things here and there that make me feel happy. I am grateful to be in a space of healing. I think that's where we start to learn that, like, not everybody wants the same thing. And I feel that there is still a lot of space on this platform, as well as Instagram, or maybe even TikTok. TikTok's not really, it's a little bit more fast paced than I'd like to go. So like, that's the thing, is that I think the focus for me is to be like, I have to have the numbers. I have to be like hustling and grinding, and like that boss babe culture is not in alignment with the pace of my life. And I like the pace of my life. I'm retired, so that affords me the ability to be able to stay home with my children. And so with that in mind, I'm like, I don't want to put myself back into work when the space that I'm being called to first and foremost be in is to be like an anchor and a home for my children. And secondly, then don't hit your mama. See, again, I'm like, where am I in the process? Browse. What was I saying? I think I just really like wanted to get like, you start to let go of the supposed to's and like how you're supposed to do influencing and what you really need to do to get noticed. Like, you guys, I'm not gonna drag myself back into debt in order to fill my closet with Revolve stuff or designer things that like aren't in alignment with my life right now. And what I mean by that is that, again, I love those things, but I've come to a very peaceful state of saying, you know what, raising a family the size of my family does have a cost, and I'm okay with attaining those things that I want at a much slower pace. And again, if I want to be influencing, that's the influence that I want to have on you here, is to say, it's okay for you to not have everything at one time. It's okay for you to be at a slower pace, or should I really just say your own pace, when it comes to the life that you want to have. I also really want to show that Vida, Ollie. I've really gotten into a space of understanding like how I need to do things and when I do need to push, because I'm getting complacent, but ultimately in a better understanding of like, I'm not gonna allow myself to be rushed, and if that means that I have to lose people on the journey, guys, I'm sorry. I am trying to do makeup and parent and prepare for our cleaning lady to be here any minute. That I am doing my best to stay focused on the conversation at hand. Where was I going? I think I was saying that like the whole journey is not healing either. Like, we're more multi-dimensional beings. So yes, I'm a mother. Yes, I have a brand. Yes, I'm an individual human being. Yes, I'm on a healing journey. Yes, I'm married. That's a whole nother journey. Yes, I have animals and all of this other stuff. So like, there are so many things that will be shared here, and maybe not all of it is going to be your thing. But the main point of that, I think, is to say, you know what, like, your life does not have to look like mine. I don't want it to look like mine, but I want to encourage you to figure out what you want that to look like for you. So like, when you look at my life and you think like, that shit is all over the place, good, that's exactly how I want it to. Like, I want to experience multiple things, and that's something that translates to my ADHD journey, is that like, I used to be so hard on myself because I could not focus on like one thing that I really wanted to do. And I really almost lost sight of my brand this year, thinking that like, maybe I don't want to be doing that anymore. Like, maybe it's not even helping anybody. Maybe nobody cares, like whatever, like spiraling in that sense. But the thing that to me is that, again, going back to motherhood has taught me, is that like, you don't just quit like when things aren't like producing the same anymore. You get creative and you find a new way that you want to translate that. Like, how, okay, so things may be like plateaued a bit. What do I want to try next within this? Because this is not gentle parenting is also another thing that I am working on. I'm not there yet, and I'm totally okay with that. But I do think I'm doing a very good job of putting that into practice. I had coffee today, and I was grounded. Okay, so I think the thing too here is that like we're also realizing that anything that you really get involved in, whether let's say you want to make jewelry, like everything now, if you're gonna have a message or whatever, is asking for us to niche down, to like stick to one thing so I can put you in a category. And that's something that I'm like, that's so dumb. We don't have to do that. We do not have to subscribe to that. And you know what? Maybe that will work for me. Maybe it won't. Maybe my channel won't grow a whole lot. But I've finally gotten into this space in which I'm like, you know what? My bills are paid. My family is happy. I feel happy. I feel very solid in my healing journey. I feel solid in the people that I'm surrounded with. If it doesn't grow, let's say, I think I have like 52 followers right now. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. But if it were not to grow past that, then like, you know what? It just is. It just is. I think we consume ourselves so much with thinking that like, I must be failing at this if it's not producing. And people will get so, it's like, you're not working hard enough, like you're not doing that. And that's something that I think was really highlighted by the attempts that I had made in multi-level marketing, which is like very much preaches this message of like, which I mean, to a certain extent I agree with. You want something, you gotta work for it. I don't, however, believe that I have to run myself into the ground for any of this. I'm just not going to do that. And that comes from me saying, I've had that life experience already before where I have completely destroyed myself in order to attempt to be the perfect girlfriend or wife, in order to be the perfect soldier or employee. And what did I get from that? Literally nothing but stress and failed expectations, both on their side and then on my side. And I just like, I can't uphold that. Like, and I don't want to uphold that. And I think overall, maybe I just want this to be a space in which you guys can come here and see what, like, maybe you guys are metiches like I am. I am super metiche in that sense. Like, I like to know what other people are doing with their lives. I find it fascinating. I find the human experience very fascinating. So when I say like, I want to know what you're doing with your life. If you have animals, please like talk to me. Tell me like the simple things that you think that people wouldn't be interested in. I think we are way more interested than we let ourselves on to be. I think people will tell us that we have very short attention spans, that we have to produce content that's like very easily consumable so people can eat. And I don't think that's it. I think a lot of people actually crave good food that they can taste and enjoy. I think people crave content that they can sit and like really engage and study with. If it is a topic of interest, right? So like, let's even take the animals, for example. Like, I wanna know how you're taking care of your chickens, like what you're doing for them. I wanna know if you name them, how you spend time with them. I wanna know what your routine is for cleaning out their spaces. And I wanna know how that fits into your normal life if you have children or if you don't have children. I wanna know if you are gardening, whether you are gardening acres, like literal farming, or if you're gardening in your apartment patio. I want to know how people are not fighting for their happiness, but just relentlessly saying like, I'm not I'm not going to sacrifice this. I'm going to keep searching. I'm going to keep finding. Does that make sense? So I share my life with others because I'm like, okay, I don't see people doing this. I don't see people talking about this stuff. I can't always be talking about the spiritual journey, because there does get to a point where I'm like, I'm not learning if I'm not engaging in communicating with my community. So the more that you guys share here, and I would love if you'd comment below on this video and tell me, like, what do you want to see more of? Like, what are the things that you too are like metiche and want to know about other people? Okay. I have to stop the video because it's about to reset, but I want to know the things that you're interested in. I want to know if you and this is me like speaking to you when it comes to you creating your own content, is if you're starting a business, what are you facing? Like, that's where I come in as a coach as well, where I'm like, okay, so this is what my community is asking for. This is where I can provide value to them. You know, starting a business has a lot of things, not just in like the business aspect of like technicalities, like paperwork and stuff. I'm talking about like facing certain fears, putting yourself out there, socializing when maybe you have anxiety about that. So many other things that we can support ourselves and say like, hey, you're struggling with that. I'm almost done, okay? But I've faced that before too, and we can talk about it. And as we start to talk about it, like, those are things that we can normalize for each other, to say like, oh yeah, I totally had that fear before too, and this is how I work through it. Or do you just need me to listen? So there's so many like details about what I do, but I'm like, I would still do that even if I didn't make any money, just because I enjoyed the conversation, you know? And so that's kind of why I show up like in this space too, is because I'm like, I don't know, maybe this serves somebody. Maybe it's just nice for me to be able to look back on this one day and be like, oh man, that first garden really sucked. But we gave it our best shot. Look at how, you know, what is a vlog after all but a virtual log of, let's say, your day-to-day or whatever. And this is a way that I like to express myself. And so maybe I'm wrapping this up, because one, I have to pee, and two, my cleaning lady is here and we gotta get ready to go. Is that I just want to say that I want to engage with you here. I don't just want you here for the sake of members or followers. I want to be able to provide value to you. So that's where I ask, like, comment if you're watching this, like, tell me what was it about the video that you did or didn't like. Do you have did you see something that I was struggling with and maybe you have a tip, or you have another way, or maybe you've already posted a video, or whatever the case may be, is like, I think I'm just at a stage now where I'm like, we have to be able to talk about these things, like things that we love, things that we don't love, what we can do to change that. But it's more like divided and separate we are, like, the harder that this gets to have as an experience. So without really having the need to justify or explain myself, I'm not sure if I can do eyeliner without, I don't know, I haven't done eyeliner in such a long time because I used to have fake lashes. Anyways, without really like the need to justify or explain myself here, I think there will definitely be times that you'll see me on here share stuff that I have purchased that I like. I'll be honest when I say that I don't even really know how to use the like to know it, and I'm learning, so I will try to link as much stuff as I can that I actually use. You guys know that I try to be as like toxic and all of that shit free as possible. So that does really limit like the kind of things that you can share that are like linkable or whatever, I guess. But that's not really the point. If you are open to the idea of somebody sharing their life with you, sharing the things that they are passionate and interested in, and having conversations both here on Instagram, by email, whatever, then I would love to hear from you, and I want to get to know you as much as you start to get to know us. In the coming months, you're gonna see a lot of content, baby content, pregnancy content. You'll see homeschooling stuff. We take a very like unschooling approach because I believe that life in general is school, and so I'm not gonna force my kids to sit down and do workbooks when that's not really where the future is going. You'll see a lot of animal content because we have a ton of them, and just in general very real content about who we are and what our lives are like and the kind of conversations that we have here. And I hope that you enjoy it, and if you don't, then you don't, and if you do, again, I want to get to know you too. So I hope you enjoyed this getting ready with me. I'm gonna have to show you the finished look separately while not talking because I can't do eyeliner and talk at the same time or hold the mirror. I'm learning. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you will stick around. I hope that you will comment and like and subscribe, and in general I hope that this space inspires you to try different things, different recipes. I hope you like Mexican food. I hope that this space in general and the energy provided here encourages you to expand past what you think is possible or what you think life should, any of life's shoulds, to question those shoulds, and to really be comfortable in designing your life the way that you want to live your life, not the way that you're being told. So anyways, thank you so much, and I will see you on the next weekly vlog. Why does there always have to be one wing that just doesn't want to get out of the program? Like, why do you have to be like that? That's gonna work. A little bit rusty, but it's gonna be alright. Alright, that's the look for today. I'm super good about that. Some dry shampoo